Hey YouTube family, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Ruth Nzioka and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you to all the new, beautiful, wonderful subscribers that I've received for the long time that I've been away. Thank you so much for joining the channel. I hope you're finding the content useful and beneficial to you guys. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my experience living with tuberculosis, in short TB. The first question that I usually get from people is, how did I get TB? My answer is, I don't know. After getting TB, that's when I realized that you can get TB from anywhere. I really cannot tell. I didn't know anyone who had TB, no relatives, no friends, no nothing. I don't know where I got it from. I just got it. So my story is kind of different from other TB patients' story. Why? Because my TB was not in my chest. It was outside my chest. It was actually on my neck. Yeah, it was on this side. And that's called extrapulmonary tuberculosis. That is where tuberculosis formed itself or attaches itself to any other organ of the body other than the chest. So that was one of the first problems I encountered, because I was not experiencing any of the symptoms that would say you're coughing a lot, you're having shivers at night, you're coughing blood and all that. I didn't have any of that. So then, if I did not have the common symptoms of tuberculosis, then how did I have TB? I'm going to answer you right now. So one of the things that caused alarm for me and my family were the lymph nodes that were growing on my neck. At first I just thought they're normal lymph nodes. Who suspects lymph nodes? They're good, okay? But then again, the problem came in when they started becoming bigger and bigger and bigger by the month. So the first time I went to the doctor, I said, "Doctor, as in I have some lymph nodes, what can I do about them?" He said, "Don't worry about them. Normally they just disappear by themselves." He said, "However, if they grow bigger, come back." They had not only become bigger, started becoming more painful, but also had increased in number. So the first time I was going to the doctor, I had like one. Then by the time I was going back to him, I had like 3 or 4 lymph nodes that were becoming so huge. So the doctor sent me to have the culture of the lymph nodes to be tested. I went to Lancet pathologists. They are located at Ngong 5th Avenue for the ones who are living in Kenya. So how they tested it was they inserted a needle which was able to extract some, let me say skin for lack of a better word, but they call it culture. They removed it and then they tested it. At first they're not testing it really for tuberculosis. They're testing it for cancer. Thank Lord, thank you Jesus, thank you Jesus. It came back negative. The pathologist made a conclusion, however, at the bottom, telling the doctor that the lymph nodes are characteristics of tuberculosis and so he should have them tested. So obviously the next test I had to take was the TB one. It's called the quantiferon TB Gold. If there's any information that I'm going to miss to share with you, kindly check the description below. I'll have shared a link to my blog post where I shared a detailed description of the whole journey and just useful information, especially for the people in Kenya living with TB and don't know what to do. So I remember on the day of going to get the results, I was just walking slowly towards Ngong 5th Avenue, and I remember in my thoughts clearly hearing that the verse that says this sickness is not unto death. That gave me some form of hope that it was going to be okay despite me having to walk that journey of taking the medication. There I am, tested positive. What do I do? So the first thing that I had to do, rather the doctor did, was refer me to Nairobi West, where I had to see another doctor who would recommend me, rather start me on the medication. So if you have tuberculosis, if you're a first-time tuberculosis patient, you have to take your medication for 6 months. If it's your second time, most of the times you have to take it for like 9 months. So for me, because I was a first-time patient, I had to take the medication for 6 months. So immediately I was put on medication. Nairobi West is a private hospital in Kenya for the ones who are living abroad. I asked for the medication and the amount they told me it's going for was ridiculous, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't do this. And funny enough, despite having lived in Kenya ignorance, surely I didn't know that the TB medication was free. So one of the days when I was doing my research, I got to know that the TB medication in Kenya is free, but you have to get it for free from a government clinic or hospital. So I was looking for a place that is within town for it to be convenient for me for both work and getting the medication. So I have listed the names of the 2 clinics that are near Technical University, where you can get the medications. If you're working in town, I think it's going to be easier for you other than just going to a normal hospital. So let's get into the side effects of the medication. As I've shared, I was okay, living my life a happy girl. Not until I started taking the medication. This is the first time I came to realize that medicine is a poison. The very first side effect I had was I had a rash. The second thing that you're going to notice immediately you start taking the medication is your urine stops being pale. It's completely orange. I mean, if you put it in a cup and serve it to someone, sorry for that explanation, it looks like orange juice. I mean, it was so scary. So you have to be careful, especially if you're wearing light clothes, because they can stain. Now, the most profound side effect for me was my eyes. My eyes became sensitive to light at first. That's how it began. Within a matter of days, I could no longer open my eyes, and the light was really strenuous. Like, it was piercing me, like somebody was. It felt like as if someone was stabbing me in the eyes. So I had to shut my eyes. I could no longer see, and this was one of the most shocking things, not only for me but also for my family, because they also got so worried about that. I remember having very, very high fever. Not just high fever, I felt as if I was burning. I remember just laying on the bed and telling God, Lord, please help me not suddenly combust. You know, the people who suddenly just start burning. I was just telling God, please help me not die like that. The other significant side effect for me was hormonal acne. You have to understand, I've never had acne in my whole life. As you can see from the screen, I've never had acne in my life. So when I started taking the medication, I had terrible acne. The other side effect I had, other than the skin rash, was when I was walking in the sun. I felt as if, you know, when you're walking in the sun, normally it's just all bliss, but I felt as if I was burning on my skin all over. So one of the things I would definitely recommend is maybe get sunscreen and then maybe put on long sleeved clothes. Okay, let me get my computer read for you the others, but the first side effects really shocked me. So I used to have nausea in the first months. My skin became very sensitive. I had constant hunger, so I had to eat. I remember not wanting to eat, ending up developing ulcers, and so having to eat. So you have to eat. Please just let it go, even if you're on a weight loss journey. There's weight gain. The other side effect you're going to notice is, for me, keeping in mind that everyone is going to go through the journey in a different way, the other side effect for me was, I'm looking at my computer, sorry, I'm not looking at you. My skin became darker than usual. I had constant body swellings. I had painful muscle and joints, so I couldn't walk a lot. I'm a walker normally, so I ended up using things like bodas, matatu, to even distances where I just enjoyed walking. What else? I had fatigue most of the days, and the final point, you can get all of them in my blog. The final point for me was mood changes. It was kind of funny, but I was going through, because I was feeling depressed. I don't know. I mean, the disease came with so much, but that was my experience. You might have a different experience. The funny thing, despite having all these side effects, you know, the doctors cannot stop your medication. You just have to keep on going. I remember sharing this with the doctor, and he said, you know, the alternative is death, so you just have to bear with it. Most of the times he would give me medication, especially the days for my eyes. He gave me medication to help me feel better. I was able to see again. So you just have to keep on going, and you cannot miss medication. You have to take it at a specific time of the day, every single day, without fail. Otherwise, you can develop the dreaded type of TB that is called MDR, that is multiple drug resistant, and that was one of my greatest fears. Even as I was continuing to take my medication, I finished my journey after 6 months. It was a long 6 months, trust you me. But I thank the Lord I was able to finish. Yeah, so I remember when I finished taking the medication, one of my worries was like, God, could I have developed MDR? you know, in MDR you have to take medication for 2 years and all that. You know, it was just a fear. But I remember a book by Kenneth E. Hagin. It was on faith, and I remember one of the reasons why most Christians, despite getting well and receiving the miracle of healing, where they go back is because they have doubt. And I'm telling you, ever since that day I decided, I'm healed. I do not want to hear nothing or anything. I stopped fearing about having the MDR and just continued living my life. I thank the Lord. I was completely healed. I'm well. I've been living well so far, and I thank the Lord so far for the far He's brought me. That was my story on living with TB and all that jazz. So if you have any questions regarding the same, please feel free to contact me in any way, whether privately or in the comment section. If you've had TB, what has been your experience like? Please share in the comment section below. Thank you so much for listening to my story. For each and every person who's going through this journey, the Lord is faithful. He's the healer, and you're going to be well. May the Lord be with you, keep you, watch over you until the next video. Bye.